Here are the horoscopes from the 22nd to the 29th of June 2015. So we begin the week with the summer solstice. Now the summer solstice is often celebrated on the 21st alone, but it's actually a 4-day period from the 20th to the 24th where we witness the longest days in the northern hemisphere, and the sun rises and sets at its maximum arc. So a good practice to have over this weekend and into the beginning of the week is to visualize the inner sun, which is the biophoton light in your cells, in your blood. To visualize those at their strongest, to charge yourself up with all of that energy, to really rejuvenate and refresh, because we also have Mars traveling very close to the sun. So since last week we've been relighting that fire, but now if we can actually take it to its heights over the next 4-day period, then we're charging up all of that inner light and storing the sunshine for the dark half of the year. Because on Sunday the sun moves into Cancer, crosses over from Gemini to Cancer, and that is the solstice point to be exact, and the sun moves into the nurturing and maternal, intuitive and healing sign of Cancer, which is the primal mother, the water in our cells. So we've got a great alchemy that can go on this weekend if we look at the light in our cells and the water in our cells, and they're both at their height. Then can we really take everything that we've learnt and charge up our light and our water, our emotional self, to its maximum beneficial level and feel that height over the 4-day period. So very, very strong summer solstice. As well as the Sun and Mars in Gemini and the Sun moving over into Cancer, we've also got the Moon, Venus and Jupiter in a trine together at the beginning of the week. So the way to work with this would then be to take all of that light that we've charged up and process it, build it up in the solar plexus, which is very Leo, the solar plexus of the Sun, and then radiate it out through the heart center, which is the realm of Venus. So we have the emotions of the Moon, we have the values and the love of Venus and the sovereignty of Jupiter, all together in Leo, saying build up that light, store it in the solar plexus, bring it up to the heart and radiate out your value and your love and your creativity. So super powerful this weekend for everyone after we've had such a long and difficult run since the full moon in Scorpio with the Gemini retrograde. So very powerful, working with the light, working with the emotional integrity and then radiating it out to create a loving and wonderful world full of value and reciprocity. So Venus is also our ability to receive, so have a look if you've got any blocks to that. Are you able to radiate out your magnificence and receive back on the same level? Because that's what's going to happen if we can do this work. So we have Monday and Tuesday a little bit calmer. Mars is getting ready to leave Gemini, so Mars is just behind the Sun, getting ready to leave Gemini. So all of that light charging, all of that energy, that catalytic combustion going on inside, but we need to know where it is that we're going to direct it. So by Wednesday, Mars goes into Cancer. Now, as I've said, Cancer is the primal mother, it's the water in our cells, it's the oceans and the womb. So it's a holding force. So when Mars, the energizer, the masculine force, goes into Cancer, the feminizer, the holding force, then it's actually like the act of conception, really. It's where's that energy going and where's it actually building inside of us and creating something and resonating on a very pure level, growing something of great worth. So Mars into Cancer for the next 8 weeks, holding that fire that we've built up, knowing its emotional value, knowing its true feel, and then actually holding that expression to build from a place inside. By Friday we have the solstice is gone now, and we're starting to get into the last few days of Gemini retrograde. So Mercury retrograde in Gemini has been going on for a long time, but we don't really stop and relax and learn and see the effects of it until it leaves the retrograde shadow. So by June the 28th we're out of the entire phase. Even though the actual retrograde phase is only 3 weeks, the whole thing spans over something more like 9 weeks. So as we come to the end of June, the 28th of June, we leave the Mercury retrograde phase and we should be more enlightened, because Mercury is how we process thought and Gemini is the processing mind. That's at home there. So we've had a long haul string of lessons here in a 3 phase. We've had the awareness in the first phase, and then we've had the recalibration in the retrograde phase, and now we've just been through a couple of weeks of seeing where we're heading. But the way gets a bit clearer by next week. So the job really is to sum up what have you learnt. And it's been very much a story of attachment and release, of liberty, of freeing the mind, and catching negative thoughts and being able to transmute them. So we've had lessons of where we're holding on too tight, where we're attached, where we're trying to control things. Our attitude towards time has been an interesting one, and our attitude towards healing. So we've been able to go back to the past and heal issues that are still affecting the present, and pushing into the future we've been able to go back and dig up that weed at the root. But also in the bigger picture, look at our attitude towards time. Do we try and control the future? Are we scared of getting older? Are we concerned about aging? Are we trying to hang on to something in the past and drag it forwards when it needs to be released? So a lot of energy to do with time, healing, and restrictive thought patterns comes to an end by Sunday the 28th. And this is quite interesting because we've just got Saturn gone back into Scorpio. So Saturn then will take those lessons and apply them deep into the subconscious. So we can really get to the root there. We can really start to apply everything that we've learnt. If you've had the fortune of using Mercury retrograde in Gemini to notice negative thought patterns, then the Saturn phase in Scorpio will help you really dig those out and get to the root of them, so we get to be our own psychologist. And it's very much a wrapping up phase, so if you didn't enjoy the 2 years where Saturn was in Scorpio, don't start to feel, oh no, here we go again. This is very much the summing up. This is very much, have you learnt the lessons and can you apply what you've learnt to live a lighter and brighter life? So imagine yourself going in willingly, looking at the root of any problem or negative thought process that you have, digging around bravely, like Scorpios do, pulling up the core message and being able to liberate and disregard anything that no longer serves you. So huge empowerment here. To actually notice the chattering mind and our thought processes is one thing, but to actually have the strength to go in and change that is the complete transmutation that means that we never have to have those thoughts again. So really a lot going on this week, but all very, very positive if we can work with it. So to recap, we have the solstice. We're at the height of our power. Light up those light cells and store them in the solar plexus. We have the sun moving into Cancer, which is going to light up our water cells and our flow and our nurture and our nourishment. So store that in the water in your body. Then we have Mars moving into Cancer, which will activate that so that we can start to create from that space. And then we have the Moon, Jupiter and Venus, creativity and radiating. So radiating the fire outwards to create something of great value and to be our authentic sovereign selves. And then we have the Mercury retrograde ending, which is, we know our mind now, we can catch our thought patterns, and with Saturn in Scorpio retrograde we can go in and dig around at the roots to get rid of anything that we've been under the prison of for so long, so that we can actually clean up our thoughts. We feel lighter and brighter. We're creating much more now from the solar plexus and the heart than from the mind. We can give up all that mental anguish and the mental prisons and begin to walk in a sense of coherence, authenticity, lightness, brightness, and the power to create the world that we want, the world that's in alignment with our true self. So really big week there, something to do every day. Do have a look at my horoscopes on the page link below if you want to see those written up in a day-by-day fashion. But those are the horoscopes for this week. Happy solstice. Hold that pause space. be magnificent, rise up to your heights and get ready to radiate that out. So those are the horoscopes for this week, and I'll see you next week. I wanted to say thank you to those that came on the magical tree walk. We had a wonderful solstice tree walk on Hampstead Heath, and there will be another one on July the 18th. That's a Saturday 2 till 4 if anybody would like to come along to that, because it's really wonderful to meet the presence of the trees, to be able to recognise each different tree and learn about its healing properties and its magic and folklore. So really beautiful time had there, so thank you very much. If anybody would like to see where they can put their power for the next half a year, then I am definitely available for revitalising readings. I'm available on Skype or in person in London, so do come along for a reading. If you've stored up all of this, if you've learnt all your lessons and you're wondering where to put this going forwards, then this week is a great week to start looking at that and actually making a conducive plan. And if you're energised and you'd like to learn, then please do come and check out my astrology courses. They're online, so that you can do them at your own pace, but I do maintain email contact with you so that you can ask questions. So there's a variety of subjects there: astrology, tarot, numerology, feng shui, and there's more to come, so please do come and check those out. And finally, I have a monthly meetup group on the middle Wednesday of each month. So the next one will be on the 8th of July, that's in Camden, 7 to 9, where we look at all the monthly energies and how we can actually apply those practical techniques to work with the energy of the month to get the most out of your time, involving tarot, maybe meditation, crystals, herbs, whatever comes up. So please do let me know if you're interested in that. Or I have a monthly workshop, and the workshop for Cancer will be how to make a lunar diary and work more closely with your personal moon cycles, and that's going to be on Friday the 10th of July. So as usual, lots going on. Please do contact me if you're interested. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week.